Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Ritt. I'm an artist and a tarot reader, and this is our weekly collective reading. Wow. All right, bunch of cards flew out of the deck. I'm gonna see what's up. Okay, these are some really interesting messages right off the bat. What I'm getting actually is this is a week wherein we can be inspired, but it almost feels like we have to surrender to inspiration. The word I'm getting actually is unbridled. So the feeling behind that is actually that it's going to be really important to give ourselves over in some way. And I'm finding this in my own personal experience. There is this feeling of keeping myself small if I wait, if I sit on my energies, if I allow myself to stay stuck. And that can take a few different forms, right? I find that for me, it's looking too long at my screen, and not allowing myself greater avenues to inspiration. It's not that there aren't some wonderful things that I'm seeing. It's that in the lingering in one spot in front of the screen, there is the potential for stagnant energy to take over. And I'm seeing it here as well. So this makes me feel like I'm in good company. We have this energy of waiting, Seven of Pentacles, and it's paired with the World reversed. And I am getting that feeling of like our world, making our world a little bit too small as we wait, as we kind of wait for something to come along, right? And what I'm seeing is, and actually what I'm getting too, the words I'm getting too are, it's actually going to be really important to get out there and find a way to really just experience life. It's another big and broad message, I know, but that's the way this feels. It's almost beyond, the feeling I'm getting is there's our man-made reality, right? There's the things that we see and know that we've built or that are established that other human beings have built. And that's kind of the backdrop. We take it a little for granted, in the same way that like social media is a man-made construction. It's been built. If I'm staying too long in front of my screen, I'm kind of lingering around it, and it's not really aiding me in living the rest of my life. It's a wonderful way to connect, but if I stay there too long, it becomes something else. And the way this feels is it's almost like it's going to be really important that we not rein in our potential for inspiration, that we allow ourselves to move beyond man-made. Actually, maybe a better way of putting that even is, if I can find the words, giving ourselves over to the divine, to divine inspiration, to that light that can pour into our lives. And yeah, there's man-made things that kind of set the framework for that, right? That then become lit up. But when we just live within our mode of having things be here and small and contained, we're doing ourselves a disservice. I feel like that's what I'm getting. Yeah, this beautiful energy of the star. And again, I'm tuning into this orange. This orange is speaking to me. It's sacral chakra energy. It's the energy around desire and life force. And I feel like that needs to be lit up right now, and it needs to go beyond the word I'm getting actually is our complacency. So the things that we've settled into or settled for, it's almost like maybe it's time to set our standards higher, but also to give it up to whatever higher power we believe in as well. And I'm also just getting that with Chariot reversed. This is a very accomplishment oriented, kind of like on top of your game kind of energy. There's a feeling of being aligned, which is beautiful, right? But also in control. And this time around, I'm just getting that, like that very man-made context. The things we built around ourselves. That's the way to put it. The things we built around ourselves, the lives we've built around ourselves, the ways of doing things that we take for granted that have been set in place, right? Man-made. That's the context I'm getting for this energy this time around. And it's reversed here, and it's next to the star. And the way this reads, again, it's like having to give ourselves over to divine inspiration. So how can I translate that in practical terms? Again, what I'm getting is any way in which we can break out of what feels like the smallness of our worlds, the constriction of our worlds, whether that's getting outside, whether that's meditating, whether that's for all of you fellow creative people, remembering to create, remembering to tap into this other energy that is, it's like that partnership of divine and us as human beings, but it moves beyond the smaller constructs of man-made. So that's what I'm getting there. Really, really powerful. And it kind of feels like, this feels like a further breaking down of old ways of living and being and looking at things. Old constructs. Yeah, I'm getting that it may be a little bit humbling, which is interesting. It's almost like the ego has to take a back seat or move out of the way as we work through things. It's kind of like right now, what it feels like is having to do the unglamorous work of living life. So finding ways to enjoy it, but also personal growth, also shifting old perception of worth or lack of worth around self. Yeah, it feels as if there's a lot in gestation during this period of time. And I'm getting that feeling of ego in relation to that man-made construct. So that's a really interesting theme I'm picking up on here. It just feels like we've got to move some of that out of the way in order to allow the flow of life. And so unglamorous isn't even the right term. It's almost just more like intangible, right? So yeah, I guess that kind of would be opposite of man-made. Intangible, giving ourselves over to divine energy, divine inspiration, what's not yet tangible, what's shifting and changing within us, allowing for that personal growth, allowing for our worlds to continue to grow and expand and move out of constriction. I am just getting that, like, it's going to be important to continue to stay active and also continue to move out of our own way. Yeah, really interesting. And also, it does feel as if we are on a path wherein something greater can manifest, some other kind of either personal or professional or some combination thereof victory, wherein we see a new result, we realize something new for ourselves. But again, it involves, you know what I'm getting? It involves breaking down a kind of barrier that we have in place when we settle for our smaller man-made construct of a world, right? It's like, this is a period of time wherein it's important to take action, but it's also important to give ourselves over to something greater. And again, to kind of allow some of our preconceived notions of who we are and how we function in the world to, wow, well, shatter is the word I'm getting, but that feels so dramatic. But yeah, this is another period of time wherein old ways of seeing ourselves and each other and the world around us are breaking down. I think that may be the most direct and to the point way I can put what I'm getting here. Yeah, and again, just that theme of worlds. It's like reinventing our worlds and again, allowing that divine energy to have more of a say so that it's not just the way I perceive the thing I'm looking at in front of the screen and that's my whole world. I've had really bad days like that where I forget to just close the laptop and look around me and take in my surroundings and be in my body. That is also a piece of this that I'm getting, you know? So really interesting. And also the words I'm getting too are the divine finds a way. So it's not actually anything grandiose, you know? It's not standing on top of a tall building and, you know, spreading our arms wide open like this and talking to God that way. It's not necessarily that dramatic. It's almost this need to have faith in the divine, have faith in what lies just beyond this smaller world that we may be kind of dwelling in, right? To have faith in something bigger and broader and allow ourselves to stay active enough to create with that divine energy. I think that's really what I'm getting because that will carry us. That will move us forward and that will also allow us to realize some other kind of success. And how interesting because 10 of Pentacles, right? Tens, first of all, speak to endings. So this kind of caps this spread that I have right now with the cards, right? So it comes at the end of something. It's a kind of a culmination. It's also Pentacles, which are earth. So they speak to physical manifestation, right? And it's accomplishment really is what I'm getting. So we stand to accomplish something greater maybe than what we've known before by way of giving ourselves over to divine inspiration. So I'm going to see if there isn't anything else that can add to this reading that can give me a little more information. Again, these feel like big, broad messages. Very flowy. Yeah, I'm getting that same message. Doing the behind the scenes work. So the way this feels with this beautiful energy of 8 of Pentacles, and it's touching Wheel of Fortune reversed. This feels like progress in motion. So with 8 of Pentacles is about getting down to work. But again, it's the kind of work, and maybe unglamorous is the right way to put it. It's the kind of work that really allows you to dig in. So whether that's learning something new and really getting to the heart of the functionality of whatever you're learning, whether it's working directly on self, it feels as if what we are wanting to undertake right now, it allows us to further some kind of process for ourselves wherein we actually accomplish a great deal more than we're even able to point to. It kind of feels like this is a period of time wherein we're going to need to have faith that we're moving in the right direction and that whatever we're undertaking, you know, as we stay active within our lives, that whatever that's about, you know, and it feels like taking new directions. It feels like having to go on instinct or impulse and not being certain of an outcome, but working really hard. And again, working hard to move beyond what we've known before, you know, our smaller world. There's an importance in that will allow us to realize far more than we're able to see right now. This feels like a kind of a journey of faith. And I mean, it's not completely blind, but there's a lot of unknown factors. And that can actually be a good thing and a really creative thing and a thing that allows us to work with that divine energy as opposed to going it alone or just feeling at the mercy of our ego self, right? That man-made. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to see if there isn't anything else here. Any other helpful info? Yeah, okay. So this is an oldie but a goodie. Part of that work is about self-care and intuiting that for ourselves moment to moment, right? So that's also a piece of this. Letting go of old baggage. That's a piece of this. So again, it's that intangible work. It's the kind of work that you do with a really good therapy session, or that time in between sessions wherein all this growth takes place. Or just that natural passage of time wherein you find yourself growing and maturing. That's the kind of work. I feel like that's what I'm having a hard time finding the words for. It's intangible work. It's the work of really digging in, but having faith that you're going to get from point A and move even beyond point B and realize new things that are just around the corner, So I feel like that's this Ten of Pentacles energy. We stand to realize a lot for ourselves. We stand to gain a lot, but the path forward is not clear cut. It's like we have to make it ourselves in concert with something bigger and broader. And I'm getting kind of a, I know this to be an older term, ego death, which is interesting. I really do feel that the ego has a place in getting things done for us as human beings. I absolutely don't want to discredit that, but that term is coming to mind for a reason. It almost does. It feels like this is a period of time wherein we shed old things that have been connected to our ego concerns. And we have to do it bit by bit and intuitively. And that means self-care in the moment, right? That's coming up. And that means having faith in something bigger and broader than just us. So I'm going to see if there isn't anything else to just kind of cap this reading. Oh, something just fell out. I do feel like another beautiful energy with the Fool. Fool is newness. We're at another turning point for ourselves wherein we're ready to realize new desire. And also, this feels like having faith in new incarnations of old dreams. So that's also another layer of this, right? I know for myself, when my world gets too small, right? When I've spent too much time in front of the screen, I tend to feel really stale about the things about my own dreams and my own aspirations. I find that when my world is really small, all of that stuff just feels stale. And so what I'm getting here is that this is also a period of time wherein we're on the path to revitalizing our dreams and realizing them in new ways that are life-affirming. So yeah, I don't know if any of you relate to what I'm talking about with that screen. If you do, this may mean stepping away. This may mean going for a walk. This may mean, well, you will know what it means for you. I'm not going to put too many words there. If I attempt to sum this up, I'd have to say that this period of time is asking a lot from us. It's asking us to broaden our thinking, stay open to possibilities. Remember that there's a lot more out there than just us as human beings and our human limitations. to give ourselves over to divine inspiration wherever we can, and to just have faith. You know, if any of you are feeling small or humbled or just not quite your old selves, to trust that that is also shifting and changing for good reason, and that there really is something better, many somethings better to be gotten, to be gained, to be realized as a direct result of the work that you are doing during this period of time, the growth work, the even just the searching, even just the experiencing the uncertainty, that can also be considered the work, right? I feel like this is work that's, again, intangible. It's not, how can I get from point A to point B really quickly? It's not that kind of work, right? So have faith wherever you can, and come back to self as best you can, you know, tend to your more immediate needs, and trust that life really can feel brighter, more inspired, more clear going forward. You know, this is just like a murky period of time that we are moving through in order to realize something far greater. So I hope that you all have a life-affirming week, you know, however that works out. I hope that you're all able to kind of break free of some of the stuff that may be limiting you or making you feel small. I know on my end, I have things that are making me feel small, and it really is a process, right? So I hope that you all find ways to feel your freedom and your clarity and your ability to grow and change and thrive, you know? And again, in connection with whatever that higher power is that you believe in. I hope that you found resonance with this video here. This also feels like another really twisty, turny reading. They often are. But I hope that you took from it whatever resonated best with you. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you here with me on this channel. And if you are interested in supporting me and supporting the work that I do monetarily, please check out my Patreon. The link is down below. And I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.